warm welcome to our channel. Pregnancy is not a punishment. Yes, pregnancy is not a punishment. Working mothers deserve workplace protection. And yet in Nigeria, in many industrial establishments, pregnant women are treated with disdain. They are treated like people who have committed some unpardonable industrial crime. In this video, captioned Pregnancy Protection, what can you do? The rights for working mothers. I shall be focusing on what the Labor Act says about pregnant mothers and how they can reap the benefits of this act and have their rights as working mothers protected. Before I go on, let me give you a few real-time experiences of how detestable some pregnant women have been treated, especially in Nigeria's private sector. I worked in a private secondary school for 18 years, and while there, I witnessed some of my most horrible experiences of the ill treatment of workers. It was an establishment, a school owned by a proprietor, an employer, whom I still regard as the most wicked of all employers. In the school, as soon as a pregnant woman put to bed, she would lose her salary until she resumed. She would not be paid until she resumed. And there was no kind of maternity leave granted to the woman. So female workers who just gave birth tried to return to work as soon as possible in order to avoid losing their salaries. A particular case was particularly touching. This woman put to bed, and a month after her birth, she resumed. She took the tiny infant, just 4 weeks old, to a daycare. And 3 weeks following this arrangement, she took her baby home after work, and the baby died. The baby started vomiting and stooling, and no medical remedy applied could work, and the baby died. And it wasn't surprising. The infant was too young to be exposed, to be allowed to handle by strangers. The child was handed over to daycare proprietresses who were mainly interested in profit maximization because they were in business. They were not there to care for infant babies. And so, the woman lost her baby. She was not the only one treated in this way by that school, but her case was quite pathetic because she lost her baby. Some other women in that school had a different arrangement. Some of them preferred losing their salaries for up to 2 or 3 months to get their babies strong enough before resuming. But the woman was probably in a strong financial constraint and needed that salary so much that she had to risk leaving her baby under the care of daycare centers, and so she lost the baby. Pathetic. Pitiable, isn't it? Now let's talk about what the Labour Act says about maternity protection. The Labour Act is an act of Nigeria's National Assembly that regulates the work relationship between employers and employees. It says that, number one, in any establishment, public or private, commercial venture, agricultural establishment, any form of industrial engagement, if a woman submits a medical certificate issued by a registered medical practitioner saying that her confinement will probably start in the next 6 months. For the benefit of the layperson, confinement means the first period of 6 months within which it is expected that a woman will give birth to her baby. That is usually from the 3rd month of pregnancy, since pregnancy lasts for 9 months. So from the 3rd month of pregnancy, it is expected that in the next 6 months, the woman will put to bed or be delivered of her baby. From that 3 months, the 4th month after the 3 months, the woman's confinement starts. Confinement means that she's not expected to go to work or engage in any stressful physical activity. She shouldn't engage in any activity that is strenuous. She should stay at home and rest and visit her obstetrician, go to hospital for regular medical examination by her obstetrician until she puts to bed. If a woman submits such a certificate to her employer, then she is entitled to be granted what we call a pregnancy leave. A pregnancy leave. While she observes this leave, her salaries are paid completely. Within the 6-month period, when she is absent, her organization pays her what is called the leave allowance, her leave allowance. Her off-duty during that period is therefore legal. Thirdly, as she is away from work, assume she had worked for a period of 6 months in the establishment or a period of more than 6 months. Then 50% or more, but not less, 50% of her regular salary, meaning half of her regular salary, is to be paid. That means after she had put to bed, half of her regular salary is to be paid. This is half or more. 50% means half, but not below that half. 50% or more should be paid while she's taking care of her baby after putting to bed until she resumes. And this arrangement is not affected even if there is a new minimum wage law. A new minimum wage law could result in the salary of the woman getting increased. If the salary is increased, then the new 50% or more than that should be paid to her while she is in confinement. So the period of confinement is not just the 6 months during which she is paid her leave allowance. It continues after she has put to bed until she returns. Now, in the 5th place, This law says that if during the woman's confinement she is unable to resume when she should do so, and it is confirmed by a report given by a registered medical practitioner that she is having an illness or some complication that is related to her pregnancy or to the fact that she recently put to bed, then it is illegal for the organization to dismiss such a woman, for the organization to tamper with the salary of such a woman. She should continue to receive her salary, 50% or more of her monthly salary, until, through a medical report given by a registered medical practitioner, it is confirmed that she is now fit to resume duty. Now, when this happens, the law has been abided by. If this is not the case, then the employer has infringed upon the rights of the working mother. In our next segment, we'll be talking about legal remedies available to the working mother whose rights have been violated. But before we move into that, let me add that upon resumption of work by the working mother who recently put to bed, each working day, half an hour should be given to her twice. Half an hour twice means 1 hour, but not one continuous hour. 30 minutes and later an additional 30 minutes. Half an hour should be given to her twice while working. Half an hour free of work. This half an hour she is to use to attend to the needs of her baby. To make this possible, the Labour Act provides that all employers should provide a creche for working mothers. A creche is simply a room that offers some privacy for the working mother to stay and breastfeed her baby and possibly change the baby's diaper, clean the baby up, or change the baby's clothing, sing lullaby to the baby if she has to, and put the baby to sleep so that she can have the rest of mind she needs to return to her work. An establishment that does not do this has already violated the rights of working mothers. And what is lamentable is that this is the case, especially in most of Nigeria's private sector establishments. I had already given you an example that we can multiply in many other organizations. Now, we ask the big question: what should the working mother do in a situation like this? First of all, is the working mother has to be fearless. The knowledge that the law is on your side is a reason why you should be fearless. Because fear is the number one reason why many Nigerians die in silence. They think that their rights cannot be enforced. They think there are so many hurdles to be crossed. They think there are so many impediments that will interfere in their effort to enforce their rights. But this is a fatalistic attitude. To say you are dead, to say I am dead when you are still alive. No, you're not dead when you're still alive. There are always remedies. All you need to do is talk. If you do not say, I am here, like the normal saying goes, nobody will say, you are there. What should you do first? Ask questions. Ask 1, 2, or 3 persons. This is how I've been treated. Is it right? Very soon you will get help. Now, what your number one helper, your number one ally is this channel. That is why the channel has been created. This channel, Human Rights Heralds, is not a law enforcement channel. No. It is for publicity, for public awareness, for information sharing. But Human Rights Herald is allied, is affiliated to many human rights organizations that can help you enforce your rights. So if someone you know or you yourself has been mistreated in the organization you work because you are a working mother, what you should do is contact a human rights organization. Your first port of call could be this channel. Send me an email to humanrightsheralds.wizard@gmail.com. Or you can leave a comment for me to that effect on the comment section. Or you can send me a WhatsApp post using the number 091-333-1790. Or you can call the hotline 0806-5422-624 if the matter is so urgent. Then I will refer you to a human rights organization that will tell you what to do. To begin with, the organization will invite your employer and you to an ADR session. ADR stands for Alternative Dispute Resolution. That means they will invite your employer and find out whether the claims you are making are valid. And if these claims are valid, they will tell your employer where he has violated your rights and tell him what compensation to pay as prescribed by the law. If your employer complies, the matter will end peacefully. But if your employer refuses, the organization will sue him to court on your behalf and provide you with a pro bono lawyer. Pro bono lawyer is a lawyer, a legal representation who can appear in court on your behalf free of charge. That is what human rights organizations do. In Nigeria, the Public Complaint Bureau is also a first step, a federal government agency that tries to resolve disputes between employers and employees. You can Google the address of the Public Complaint Bureau in your own state and report your claim. The National Human Rights Commission also has its branches in all the states of the Federation. You can also Google their address in your own state and make your report. In fact, the individually owned human rights organizations are even more effective than those ones sponsored by the federal government. If you want to handle your case on your own, assume you want to go to court without consulting any human rights organization, you also we encourage you. And if you don't have money, Google your state address of Legal Aids Commission. The Legal Aids Commission is established by the federal government, and it has lawyers paid by the federal government to stand for an indigent Nigerian who has a court case but has no money to hire a legal representation. When this happens, your matter will be taken to the National Industrial Court, where disputes occurring between parties in the industrial sector are resolved. Remember that the channel is Human Rights Heralds, and you are onto a half hour with the Human Rights Wizard. And I am still your usual anchor person, Ogochukwu Onwa. If you have learned something today from our video, please help others to also learn by liking this video, sharing this video so that it will have a wider reach. Subscribe to the video, subscribe to this channel so that my subsequent videos will get to you directly as soon as they are published. As we wind down today, I'd like to remind you to be law-abiding, stay away from trouble, and do not forget our slogan, know your rights, protect your rights, and defend your rights. See you on our next video. Goodbye.